UNLV men's basketball has found their new head coach in Josh Pastner.
Thank you for joining us on Studio G. My name is Rian Shappy.
And I'm Jonathan. Let's get started.
Big news for the Running Rebels this week. John Pastner was announced as their new head coach. Let's hear from reporter Blake Lee and Addison for more information.
UNLV men's basketball has found their new head coach in Josh Pastner. Pastner replaces Kevin Kruger, who was fired on March 15 after 4 seasons as head coach. Pastner looks to bring success to the Valley as he did at previous stops at Memphis and Georgia Tech. That includes a 60% winning rate, added with 6 NCAA tournament appearances and 2 NIT appearances. This is what Coach Pastner had to say about joining the Rebels.
It's not going to be about me and a couple players. This is going to be the whole city back involved and getting everybody to come here to help build the program back to where we want to get it, all to get it back to NCAA tournaments and winning championships. That's what we want to do. And so it's going to, absolutely.
That is definitely exciting news for the UNLV basketball team. Hopefully the new coach works out well for the team. UNLV's student-run music festival is here. The biannual RebFest starts today at 4 p.m. This is a time for student artists to showcase their talent with both original and cover songs to compete for $1,000 in cash prizes. In between, there are plenty of games, vendors, and snacks to have a good time. Support students and get free stuff. Tonight from 4 to 9 p.m., RebFest will be held in the Student Union second-floor ballrooms for all to enjoy.
After the tragic death of 2 state troopers, there may be a possible change in DUI policy. Governor Joe Lombardo wants tougher penalties for DUI drivers, including charge-impaired drivers with killing another person with second-degree murder. Lombardo stated in an interview, there is a request to elevate fatal accident DUI with implied intent, in other words, implied malice. You knew you drunk, you knew the decision to get in your car, and the result of your action was the death of someone else. With this possible, the new maximum time for DUI drivers who killed another person could serve without the possibility of parole of 8 years. There has been many changes with women's reproductive rights throughout the United States. However, a new bill has been introduced in Nevada that can help women who are struggling with infertility. SB 217 was introduced the Health and Human Services Committee that pushes for Nevada families to have a greater access to IVF. This new bill includes coverage for treatments like IVF, as well as fertility preservation for those who have diagnosed like cancer. Democratic State Senator Nicolo Canzaro has stated that the treatment provides hope and opportunity for those struggling with infertility and for those same-sex couples who are seeking biological parenthood, individuals with medical conditions that could affect their fertility. The bill is set to head to the Finance Committee for review. Individuals are still trying to find ways to help with reproductive women. To stay informed about this bill, make sure to stay tuned for any future updates.
The hot Las Vegas summer is approaching, and anyone else dreading the rising temperatures, Clark County might actually be making a difference in temperature this summer, simply using trees.
The Clark County Department of Environment and Sustainability, along with the Arbor Day Foundation, are partnering to deliver about 4,500 trees across the community. Their goal is to improve air quality, reduce heat vulnerability, and save energy. Residents are eligible for at least one free, water-efficient tree with the greatest need based on a map of valley heat vulnerability. The Community Canopy Project focuses on solutions for reducing dangerous rising temperatures in the region. According to the National Weather Service, 2024 was the hottest summer on record for Southern Nevada. The project will be available through May 2025 while supplies last. You can visit Arbor Day's website to claim your trees or be added to the waitlist.
From Clark County right here on campus, the UNLV theater students have a play opening this weekend. Let's hear more about it.
Hi, my name is Lindsay Felstead, and I am here in front of the UNLV Black Box Theater. This is where the UNLV Conservatory Theater will have their play starting this weekend. It is called Wolf Play, and it's their first preview performance tonight at 7:30. But this one's technically a dress rehearsal, so you can just come and pay what you can. They officially open starting Friday at 7:30. And then they run every weekend up until April 6th, so you'll have plenty of time to go see it. Tickets are $15 for students and $30 for non-students. You can buy tickets now, online, or at the box office. To locate the Black Box Theater, just go to Ham Fine Arts Building, and it is right at the front.
Wolf Play is a very extremely interesting play. I highly recommend you guys seeing Wolf Play.
I'm definitely interested to see what this play will be about. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Lindsay. I'm also interested in what the Wolf Play will be like. I'd love to support the UNLV theater students too.
As well as supporting the UNLV theater students, we can support our UNLV hockey team. There's big news for the UNLV hockey fans. The Skating Rebels are celebrating their national championship in style, and everyone is invited. After being the defending champion Bulldogs from Adrian College 7-3, UNLV hockey is set to host a championship celebration. Join the team on Saturday, March 29th from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at Mackenzie Riverside City National Arena. Fans can meet the players, take photos with the Murdoch Cup, and soak the championship atmosphere. And want to gear up in championship gear? Exclusive championship merchandise is now available. Visit rebelhockey.com/store for details. The celebration kicks off at 5:30 p.m. and admission is free. Don't miss your chance to cheer on the champs.
For more sports news, both on and off campus, make sure to tune in at Rebel Report at 1:30 on Rebel Report's UNLV Instagram.
Coming up next, we'll discuss the group chat leak.
Plus, before you buy that next box of Girl Scout cookies, you might want to check what's inside. More about the cookie controversy after the break.
By the flu, a virus that is easily preventable through vaccination. The virus transmits through any close contact, so getting your shot is the first step in stopping the spread. The more people that get the vaccine, the less likely it becomes for you to contract and infect others with the virus. With flu season in full effect, there is never a better time than now to get your flu shot. Talk to your local doctor, pharmacy, or visit the CDC website at www.cdc.gov for more information. Do your part to stop the spread of the flu and schedule your flu vaccination today.
Every 7 minutes, a pedestrian is killed or injured due to impatient and reckless driving and careless walking. For everyone's safety, don't be reckless. Watch the road.
In today's world, getting to know your neighbors isn't just about being friendly, it's about keeping your community safe. Building strong connections with those around you creates an extra layer of security. Neighbors who know each other can help prevent intruders by noticing when something seems off. And when natural disasters strike or emergencies arise, those same connections can make all the difference. Getting to know your neighbors isn't just about community, it's about safety and support. Take some time today to get to know your neighbors. You never know when you might need each other.
Welcome back to Studio G. Let's jump right into national news. High-ranking officials in the Trump administration made an aggressive overnight a few weeks ago, accidentally adding the editor-in-chief of The Atlantic to a group chat discussing imminent war plans. Reporter Evan Carroll adds more to the story.
Disaster struck this week as The Atlantic's editor-in-chief Jeffrey Goldberg posted a story this past Monday detailing an attack that took place in Yemen on March 15th. The only issue being that Goldberg knew of the attack 2 hours before it took place because National Security Advisor Michael Waltz unknowingly added the reporter to a group chat on the encrypted app Signal. While Signal is indeed an encrypted app, it is used mostly by journalists and politicians for an increased level of privacy compared to regular citizens. This does not have a high enough level of encryption to share classified information between cabinet members, as Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth did with Vice President J.D. Vance and other high-ranking officials.
I found it completely improbable that the top national security leadership of the United States would be discussing on a commercial messaging app the possible imminent attack on another country.
There are, of course, avenues to share and document classified information within the government, known as sensitive compartmented information facilities, or SCIFs. This in turn means they could have been sharing military plans in public, potentially risking getting hacked and inadvertently sharing real-time information on operatives in the field and potential offensive plans to foreign intelligence. The Trump administration continues to deny, with Hegseth replying,
"So-called journalist who's made a profession of peddling hoaxes time and time again. This is the guy that peddles in garbage. This is what he does. Nobody was texting war plans, and that's all I have to say about that. Thank you."
And Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt saying, quote, "No classified material was sent to the thread," also claiming Goldberg is, quote, "well known for his sensationalist spin." Fortunately, a spokesperson for the National Security Council, Brian Hughes, already confirmed to Goldberg that the chat was real.
There is still more developing around this story as Jeffrey Goldberg continues to release screenshots detailing more of the message sent. We had a lot of losses this past month, starting with the shocking death of Mia Love, the former U.S. representative and the first Black Republican woman elected to Congress, passed away at 49. She died peacefully at her home in Utah after battling glioblastoma, severe form of brain cancer, for 3 years. Another shocking death that occurred is the death of former heavyweight boxer George Foreman. Here's Blake Lee Addison with more information.
Of unknown causes. Most famously known for his Rumble in the Jungle championship bouts with Muhammad Ali of October of 1974, and for his famous $200 million revenue George Foreman grills that started in 1994. Foreman was 76 and will be remembered for his powerful knockouts and unforgettable smile.
Both of these figures in American history will be heavily missed.
President Trump invoked the privilege to block the release of information regarding his recent string of deportations. We go to Evan Carroll for the story.
After possibly defying District Judge James Boasberg's order to stop, the Trump administration invoked a state secrets privilege, blocking the release of any additional information about the deportations of hundreds of Venezuelan quote-unquote gang members to Salvadoran prisons. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt responded to this, saying the administration did not refuse to comply with a court order. The order, which had no lawful basis, was issued after terrorist TDA aliens had already been removed from U.S. territory. Trump and his allies have taken to calling for Boasberg to be impeached, with the president releasing a message on social media saying the judge should even be disbarred. In an extremely rare conflict, Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts said, "Impeachment is not an appropriate response to disagreement concerning a judicial decision."
The Trump administration sticks to their long-standing press strategy, continuing to deny the allegations of ignoring Judge Boasberg's ruling. A new update on the Department of Education saga. Several lawsuits have been filed against the Trump administration after the president signed an executive order last week dismantling the department. Teachers and advocacy groups are fighting for the department, stating that the president does not have congressional approval to eliminate it. Let's look at what Becky Pringle, the president of the National Education Association, has to say on the matter.
We know that students have already been harmed and hurt, and our families are reeling from the impact of taking away the role of the federal government. That's why the NAACP has joined in this lawsuit.
Certain roles reinstated in the Department of Education, such as student loan payment plans. But the future remains uncertain as President Trump continues to plan for its closure.
Tensions are rising between Denmark and the United States over an unsolicited visit to Greenland by Vice President J.D. Vance and Second Lady Asha Vance, with other U.S. delegates. Danish Prime Minister Mette Frederiksen has called the pressure from Washington unacceptable as concerns grow over U.S. interests in the Arctic territory. The U.S. delegation led by J.D. Vance is scheduled to visit Greenland Pitufik Space Base this week. The trip comes as aimed renewed speculation about U.S. strategic interest in the region following President Donald Trump past remarks about acquiring Greenland. This is what J.D. Vance said in the regards to his social media.
And I say that speaking for President Trump, we want to reinvigorate the security of the people of Greenland because we think it's important to protecting the security of the entire world.
Leader Mute Edgar has called the visit a provocation, especially as the territory faces political transition and upcoming election. In response, the U.S. has scaled back the visit, limiting interaction with local officials and focusing on military operation. Despite the changes, concern remains over the U.S. intentions in the Arctic as diplomatic tensions continue to mount. The Women's March Madness tournament continues to be must-see TV. As we enter the Sweet 16, here's Emma Ralston with a recap in what went down during round 2 and some matchups to look forward to.
Round 2 of the Women's March Madness matchups were full of ups and downs as we make our way to the Sweet 16. Of course, we start with the biggest down of round 2 being the unfortunate and untimely season-ending injury that USC's star guard Juju Watkins faced just 5 minutes into their matchup against Mississippi State. It was confirmed after the game had ended that she had suffered an ACL injury. Without Juju on the court, Kiki Iriafen stepped up and took charge. She ended the night with a career-high 36 points, leading the Trojans to a dominant 96-59 win over the Mississippi State. USC advances to the Sweet 16, where they will face Kansas State in Spokane. Over to fan favorite to win and returning champions, the South Carolina Gamecocks showed their championship pedigree, outscoring Indiana 26-14 in the third. Bree Hall and Chloe Kitts came through in a big way, with Kitts hitting a clutch three-pointer to ignite the Gamecocks' 64-53 win. This marks their 11th straight Sweet 16 appearance, where they will be facing Maryland. And speaking of Maryland, their matchup against Alabama was the highlight of round 2. The Crimson Tide were so close to punching their Sweet 16 ticket, but after a wild double overtime battle, they fell 111-108. Despite a record-setting 45 points from Hannah Barker, Alabama's dreams were dashed as the Terps complete their comeback. And in her last home game of the season, Paige Beckers balled out. She matched her career high as UConn crushed South Dakota State 91-57. Securing their 31st consecutive Sweet 16 appearance. With their eyes set on a national title, Paige Beckers leads the Huskies to Spokane for a regional showdown with Oklahoma. The Sweet 16 matchups start tomorrow, so check your local listings because you will not want to miss all the action. This has been Emma Rosenstein with Studio G.
Like Emma said, check your local listing to not miss out on the action, and make sure to stay tuned for Rebel Report at 1:30 for more in-depth look at all things sports.
There's been some breaking news coming out of NASA this last week. After what was originally supposed to be an 8-day mission, NASA astronauts Sunny Williams and Butch Wilmore finally returned to Earth after being stranded in space for over 9 months, due to their Boeing Starliner starcraft experiencing issues such as helium leaks and degraded thrusters, making a safe return impossible. Here we are, just saw Sunny exit the return capsule with big smiles and big waves. Now Butch is getting a hit of the Earth's gravity but ready to be home. In other out of this world news is the Girl Scout cookie love crumbling. 2 weeks ago, a woman from New York filed a $5 million lawsuit against the Girl Scouts and their bakeries, claiming their cookies are contaminated with dangerous heavy metals. Since then, the company came out insisting that their cookies meet all food safety standards and that some heavy metals occur naturally. Medical experts looked into a study that was done and found that the study only 25 cookies in total were tested. The study was not published or peer-reviewed, and it judged the cookies based on water safety guidelines, not food guidelines. Most recently, the woman who originally brought the case forward is now filing for a voluntary dismissal. But with the recent findings in the cookies, it's tough to say if this controversy is over.
Coming up next, we'll give the scoop on all things music, entertainment, and cookie-scented body wash. All that and more after the break.
Drunk driving is more than just a fine. It's lives lost, someone's family member gone, and futures ruined. One choice can lead to a lifetime of regret. Are you willing to pay that price and ruin someone's life? If you drink, find a safe way home. Look out for others because no amount of fun is worth losing a life.
In today's world, getting to know your neighbors isn't just about being friendly, it's about keeping your community safe. Building strong connections with those around you creates an extra layer of security. Neighbors who know each other can help prevent intruders by noticing when something seems off. And when natural disasters strike or emergencies arise, those same connections can make all the difference. Getting to know your neighbors isn't just about community, it's about safety and support. Take some time today to get to know your neighbors. You never know when you might need each other.
The world is predicted to generate at least 220 million tons of plastic waste in the year of 2024. 70 million tons are predicted to end up in our environment. It's not hard to do. Recycle.
Welcome back to Studio G. Before we start the entertainment portion of our broadcast, let's toss it over to Wyatt for the weather.
Appreciate it, Ren. Thank you so much for watching the weather. I'm Wyatt Pudlow, here to introduce you to what's going on mostly. We're only 2 weeks into spring, except it's already getting hot. 82 here on campus. It's most likely going to stay this way for the rest of the day until it obviously drops down once the sun drops down. So, valley temperatures, we got 81 up in North Las Vegas, Sunrise also around 81, Henderson 81, even more 81, 82 around the valley, except Summerlin is down in the high 70s and so is Boulder City. A little bit of surprise, but that's how it's going to be. Expected high temp here on campus is going to be 85, again going to drop down when the sun drops down. Vegas, I hear you like it hot. It's going to be hot. So there's your answer. For the sunset time, it's going to be down at 6:58. So it's going to keep dropping here and there, but it's only going to be dropping minute by minute for the next few weeks. So get the sun while you still can. For the 7-day forecast, it's going to be again 85 today, but it's also going to be dropping down to the low to mid 70s until which that's supposed to say until Tuesday, which then is going to drop down into the high 60s, then the low 60s forward on out. Only really pay attention to Saturday because obviously after 3 days, the weather gets a little mixy, so it might be higher temperatures after Sunday. Thank you so very much for watching weather. Desk, what do you guys think about the temperatures? Huh?
Moving on to entertainment. First things first, we have some iconic pop icons heading to Las Vegas this summer. Yesterday morning, Grammy Award-winning artist Lady Gaga announced a new tour titled The Mayhem Ball. What's even better, she's kicking off the tour right here in Las Vegas. The show is set to take place on July 16th at Allegiant Stadium. Another Grammy Award-winning star that'll be making their way to Las Vegas is Beyoncé. The much-anticipated Cowboy Carter Tour will be hitting the Allegiant Stadium not for 1, but 2 dates on July 25th and 26th. And for those who aren't big fans of pop, don't worry. World-famous rock band Kiss is also announced that they'll be coming to Las Vegas for the first time since their farewell tour in 2023. And to the surprise of many, they will be makeup less, and that will be happening later this year on November 14th to the 16th at the Virgin Hotel, Las Vegas. So many events are happening in Las Vegas, you definitely don't want to miss them.
So many shows are coming to Vegas, but there's also some festivals that will be happening in nearby states. One of them being Outside Lands in California. Outside Lands is back this summer with a star-studded lineup featuring Tyler, the Creator, Hozier, Doja Cat, Vampire, Weeknd, Doechii, and more. They are set to take the stage in San Francisco at the Golden Gate Park August 8th through the 10th. Don't wait too long to get tickets since they are now on sale. It's time for our weekly music recap where we take a look at what's going on with the charts this week.
Looking into the top 100 on the Billboard charts, coming in at number 1 again is Kendrick Lamar featuring SZA with Luther. This is Lamar's 5th consecutive week at number 1. Die With a Smile has been knocked down to number 3 on the Billboard charts this week due to Playboi Carti's new album dropping, claiming 2 spots in the top 5, with Evil Jordan at number 2 and Rather Lie at number 4, this being Cardi's highest ranking album debut so far. Finishing the top 5, we have Chappell Roan with The Giver.
I love all this music that's going on.
I know, it's great. I can't wait to see what happens next week.
Yes. And remember, you can always tune in to Studio G for weekly music updates.
Disney's live-action remake of Snow White has been underperforming at the box office this last weekend. With a budget of over $200 million, Snow White poorly performed at the box office this last week, making only $87 million globally and $43 million domestically. Disney's new Snow White has yet to impress critics, earning itself a 42% score on Rotten Tomatoes. Despite also achieving an overall audience score of 74% on Rotten Tomatoes, the film has yet to break even on its budget. A new combination is hitting stores and is not what you'd expect. Crumbl, known for their cookies, and Dove, known for their skincare, have partnered up for a sweet collaboration. Indulge in body washes, lotions, scrubs, and hand washes inspired by popular treats like strawberry shortcake, crumb cake, confetti cake, Nilla bean cake, and lemon glaze. Completely available today at your local Walmart. I wonder if people think they can eat these.
Yeah, we gotta make sure that let people know that this product isn't edible.
Thank you for joining us today on Studio G.
And we'll see you next week here on Studio G. Take care.